So what's up guys, and welcome back to a new video after quite a long time. Well, I guess you can say I forgot my YouTube channel's password, but well, that's not the main thing here. In this video I'll be reviewing the Xbox Series S. The Xbox Series S was released in 2020 and currently this is the most affordable next-gen console out in the market. So now that it's been out quite a while now and it's quite common and available, I think it's the right time to talk about it. I remember when Microsoft announced this, I was really excited about it and I finally have it with me now. So let's get into the review, shall we? The Xbox Series S is like the smaller brother of Xbox Series X. Now Xbox Series X is the bigger flagship Xbox of Microsoft. The Xbox Series S, on the other hand, comes with a compact design, a lesser powerful CPU, GPU and hardware. But one of the key things here is that this console can still run the same games as the Xbox Series X without breaking a sweat. Compact design with an outstanding performance at a really affordable price is the key selling point of this console. But however, it does have its drawbacks, like the storage and lack of support of actual 4K and things like that. But overall, this is a great deal, and now without wasting any more time, let's get into the main review. I've been using this console for quite a while at this point, so there's no actual unboxing here, but however, inside the box you'll get the console itself, some cables, the controller, and coming with the controller, a pair of AA batteries. Yes, you need AA batteries to use the controller, and obviously the Xbox Series S comes with a white controller. But however, I actually used some wrong batteries for my controller and I ended up busting my controller. So if you're gonna use some aftermarket aftermarket batteries, make sure that it's actually supported for your controller. Otherwise, you're gonna have to pay just like me. I think it's quite known at this point that the Xbox Series S actually looks like a speaker. And to be honest, I have no complaints about it, but it actually does look like a speaker. The first time my dad came into my room and saw this, he asked me if this is a speaker or not, and I replied with a yes, so that I don't have to explain him much. But anyway, the Xbox Series S actually has a compact and simple design, and what I really like about this design is how portable the console is. Weighing at only 1.5 kilograms, the Xbox Series S is super portable. This is like my second portable device after my laptop, and if I keep it next to my laptop, you can see how small this is. And this thing is actually a powerhouse, so I just bring it with me wherever I go. And to be honest, I have no regrets and I really love the portability of this console. Now, even though the console looks quite good, simple and minimal, I think I would say the problem with the design is its color. Not everyone actually has white furnitures or things to go with their setup, so this might look odd on your setup. I mean, it does look odd on my setup, but well, that's something a skin can easily fix. Now, a minimalistic design can actually go both ways. Some people might like it, some people might not. Because, well, there's no PS5 kind of futuristic theme going on here. It's just a rectangular box with a fan cutout on top. Well, I'll keep the design and looks part up to you to decide if you like it or not, but I personally think it's alright, and I'm a super big fan of how portable the console is. On the top side of the console, you'll find this fan cutout for airflow. On the front side, you'll find this power button, which is distinguished as the Xbox logo. Then there's a USB port and the wireless connectivity button. On the back side of the console, there's two USB ports, HDMI port, an expansion slot, the Ethernet port, and the power slot. Now, I find it a bit disappointing that there's no Type-C port here, but well, it is what it is. Well, sorry for interrupting a bit, but if you are enjoying the video till now and if you want more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe button, as it will mean the world to me. Well, sorry for interrupting, and back into the video. Now let's talk about the controller for a bit, shall we? The series controller comes with its Xbox signature layout with left stick on top and the right stick on bottom. The controller has this matte finish and it looks super premium and feels actually quite good on hand. And coming with this matte finish and this grippy texture on the side, it's super comfortable to hold. By the way, you might find that the layout of the controller is quite similar to Xbox One controller, but it's not the same, and this actually is improved from the last gen controllers. The button quality of the controller is actually quite good, and the analog sticks, well, they are working still fine. And on the bottom side of the controller, you'll find an expansion slot for keyboards and things like that. And there's also the 3.5mm headphone jack port. On the top side, you will find a wireless connectivity button and a Type-C port. The Type-C port can be used to charge the controller if you're using official battery pack, or it can be used directly for input for games on your Xbox. Now, yes, the controller actually requires external battery. You either have to use AA batteries, you need 2 of them, or you need to buy the official battery pack that comes from Microsoft. Well, I personally don't prefer this kind of changeable battery, but if you need to, I suggest that you guys go for the official battery pack. Well, in my honest opinion, console specifications don't actually matter that much like the PC or laptop specifications, especially because games are either made or optimized specifically for that console. Now anyway, the Xbox Series S comes with a custom AMD Zen 2 CPU with RDNA 2 GPU, and also it has 10 GB of GDDR6 RAM, and the console comes with 512 GB of SSD, and it can be increased using the expansion slot at the back of the console. Now, one of the key things that gives Xbox advantage over any other console is the backwards compatibility. You can even play games from the original Xbox on this console without any kind of emulation or any kind of extra software. I think that's really cool if you're an old gamer and just wanna, feel nostalgic and things like that. And you can also even use RetroArch using some kind of developer software kit or something like that. I actually forgot about it. And you can even play retro games on this. I think that's actually great because, well, we sometimes do wanna feel nostalgic. The console can run games in 1440p in up to 120 FPS. Now I actually have no complaints in terms of performance of this console, and I am actually using a 1080p monitor for this console. Now I personally think this is the best console that you can get for 1080p gaming. There was no stutter or lag or any issues like that, and well, the console actually does not support native 4K, but what it does is that it upscales 1440p to support onto 4K. Now if you're gonna use the 4K monitor with this console, you'll get the upscaled output. Now about the 120 FPS, well, there's not really many games that actually take advantage of the 120 FPS support. There's only selected titles that takes advantage of this, but since, well, it's a new console, there's more and more games releasing these days, and a lot of them are coming with the native 120 FPS support. So in a few years, you'll find that most games will support 120 FPS on this console. And well, most games, if not all, can actually be played on the console at 60 FPS, and for me, that's actually enough. Another thing is that this console actually supports ray tracing. Yes, only at $300 you're gonna get a console that supports ray tracing. Now it can run games at only 30 FPS with ray tracing enabled, but the fact that this console actually even supports ray tracing is a lot. Now you can play games like Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5 and games like that with ray tracing. You just have to see that if the game you're playing supports ray tracing or not. You can check that from the official website or any other website, or even in games it will say quality mode or things like that. So well, that's it. Well, now let's talk about my gaming performance with the console. In short, my gaming performance with the console was absolutely amazing and I have no complaints about it. The console has a huge library of games that you can play from. Most games I played on the console ran smoothly. The graphics performance was quite good, but I'd say there's a bit of lacking here and there. I think some games could actually have better graphics, but overall I was quite satisfied with the graphics performance. I played games like Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Plague Tale Requiem, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, Watch Dogs Legion and many more. Most games ran at 60 FPS without any issues, some at 120 FPS, and some games that did support ray tracing like Watch Dogs and Halo was playable at 30 FPS with ray tracing on. I found that I personally preferred playing games at 60 FPS cause I feel like that's the sweet spot for me. And I'm more used to playing games at 60 FPS cause I used to play that on my PC. Now obviously it won't be the same for you, but it's great to have options, especially if you're someone who actually wants 120 FPS, or if you're coming from PS4, you would find no issue playing at 30 FPS. The controller was quite comfortable to use for hours, and in long session of usage like 6 to 7 hours of gameplay, I did not find any kind of heating issue. Now, well, it's summer right now and it's around 40 degrees Celsius where I live, so there might be some kind of heating issue, but I did not find any and I'm quite comfortable with it. One thing that did bother me about the console was the storage. I could only store 4 to 5 games in the internal storage at a time. The problem here is that you can only use 360 GB of storage to store your games, and otherwise you'll have to use the expansion slot or you can use the external hard drive. The problem is that you cannot play games, you cannot play all games from the external hard drive. Most games actually need to be in the internal storage to run properly, especially the games that have this logo, which means optimized for Xbox. They must be stored on the internal storage to run. Otherwise, they won't even open. Now, one good thing here is that I could store games on the external SSD or HDD or whatever you are using, and I did not have to download the games every time I wanted to play them. But however, I think this is actually a major drawback, especially if you think about it, because 360 GB isn't that much, especially now that games are actually having like size of 100 GB, 120 GB. And well, to be honest, that was the only thing I did not like in my gaming experience. Now, if you guys know me, you guys would know that I actually used to have a PS4 and I sold my PS4 to buy this console. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. I think for me, it was actually a good decision and it's actually worth it. So the thing I really like about the Xbox, or the thing you can say sold me on the Xbox, is the support for Discord. Well, you can use Discord on your Xbox natively and connect with your friends. You don't have to use a third-party software or anything like that, and that was actually really important for me. Like, the PS4 not having support for Discord was a huge issue for me, and I wasn't able to play games with my friends. And if you guys know about gaming, playing with your friends is a huge deal. So that's why I really like the Xbox, especially it supports Discord. Now, I think there's no room to compare the specification and performance of the Xbox Series S and the PS4, because PS4 is actually a last gen console and the Xbox Series S is a current gen console. The performance gap will be huge because the PS4 was released in 2013 and this is in 2020. There's like a 7-year of age gap going on here. Now, another thing that actually has advantage over PS4 is the Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass actually has more newer games than the PS4, the PS Essential, Extra or Premium. So I think that's actually a great thing, great difference if you think about it. But I do gotta say, I miss games like God of War, Spider-Man, but to be honest, I don't mind actually sacrificing on some PS exclusives for this console. But well, everyone is different, so your opinion might be different in this case. Now, one of the key attractions of Xbox is the Xbox Game Pass. The fact that you can play tons of games for really cheap price is absolutely amazing, and it's actually quite cost effective as well. You only have to pay a set amount of money per month for over 400 games to play. One of the best things of Game Pass is the day one releases. Games like Atomic Heart, which I didn't personally like by the way, Wulong, Redfall are playable with Game Pass on their release date. And I think that's amazing, especially if you're someone who is into gaming, who looks into gaming on the release date. And if you want to play a game that's not actually available on Game Pass, well, you can buy it from the Microsoft Store. Well, there goes all the things that I did like about the Xbox. Now let's talk about things that I did not like about the Xbox. First of all, the storage. Okay, the Xbox only comes with 360 GB of usable storage that you can store games on. And nowadays that's actually very little, especially considering the fact that most games, there are a lot of games that have this 80, 90 or 100 GB of size. And well, to store them, you have to clean your internal storage. You either have to remove your current games or you have to store the current games in a external storage. Now, you can actually use an external hard drive like I am using, and you can store your games like that. But well, is it worth it? To be honest, no. And the expansion cards are quite expensive. Like, you can even buy a new Xbox Series S with the price of 2 TB expansion card. So to be honest, the storage, well, is a huge issue, I think. Another thing that you should know about the Xbox game library, is that the Xbox doesn't actually have many exclusive games like the Sony PlayStation. Now, games like God of War, Spider-Man, Uncharted are the games which is the reason why people like to buy the PlayStations. But when coming to Xbox, Well, Xbox doesn't have games like that, but there's Halo, Forza Horizon, and games like that that are actually Xbox exclusives. I mean, they're not really Xbox exclusives because you can play them on a Windows laptop or PC, but well, they are not available on PlayStation. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're someone who likes to brag about exclusivity of games, this console is not for you. And well, another thing about the console is that it doesn't support native 4K. It actually upscales 1440p to support on 4K, but if you're someone who actually can afford a 4K monitor, I mean a good 4K monitor, I think you should be someone who can also afford a Xbox Series X. But well, the 4K performance on this, as I've heard from Reddit and other YouTubers, is good. Now I couldn't test it because I am someone who cannot actually afford a 4K monitor. I mean, there's no shame to talk about it, right? But if you're into 1080p gaming, hands down, this is the best console you can get for 1080p gaming. Overall, I would say Xbox Series S is a really good console with a really affordable price. Now, coming at only $300, you're getting a really good CPU, GPU, and performance, and no other console at that price point can give you the same performance as this one. Now, obviously, you are gonna miss out on exclusive games like God of War and games like that, but you can play a lot of games, like a lot of online games like Overwatch, Halo, Call of Duty without any kind of stutter or any issues like that. Now, to be honest, 120 FPS and ray tracing both seem like a marketing gimmick to me, but most games do run at 60 FPS on this console. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the ray tracing or 120 FPS does not work properly. I'm not actually saying that, but the games that support those features are really low currently. There's like a set amount of games that support 120 FPS or ray tracing, but well, they're actually increasing day by day. And well, if you're gonna buy this, I think you can be like worryless, or I don't know what's the actual word. I don't know what the word should be. I mean, you can be tension free for the next 5 years about gaming. This console will handle them all. So well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's a long video, but well, thanks a lot, and well, bye.